Well, welcome back. It's been a couple weeks here, and now I got to get this project done that we talked about the last time when I was out camping and made the design with you. Um, Today we're going to actually cut it. On the table here, I do have a uh, piece of cherry. It's an inch and a quarter thick, a little bit larger than my project. I've already centered the bit. Now I just need to set the Z height, and we'll be ready to go on it. Um, just to bring you up to speed, this was a three-dimensional clip art built into Vectric. And what I did is I put that in there, and then I followed the curves and placed text on the curve. And it basically follows the 3D face of the book. This is a wedding present for my great niece, and she doesn't watch the channel, but very few people actually do watch the channel. So like and subscribe so you can see this whenever I pop these things up. I'm not real regular on my videos. I put them up once in a while, so you won't get inundated. But if you hit that subscribe and notify, you won't miss them when I do put them up. Anyway, so I'm not worried about her seeing this. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see the CNC and not me, and we'll get going. All right, sorry, the dust collection is a little bit in the way. I'm trying out a new way of mounting my camera so that you can see, and apparently it's not going to work this way, I don't think, because you won't be able to see it, but eventually this will be going to a different type of dust collection with a full brush underneath. Just haven't found one I liked with this 80 millimeter spindle. Now, the CNC I use is a Queen Bee Pro. It's 1500 by 1500. That's centimeters, so it's about 5 foot by 5 foot. I am getting ready to build another one that is going to be about 2.5 foot by 3 foot, so it's a little bit smaller for doing some of my smaller projects. I do still like using the paper rather than a touch probe. Just my personal preference. I just feel like I've got a little more control over it, and it's just the way I like to do it. Do it however you want. That's what this whole CNC stuff's about. You make it up as you go along sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes you break things. Hopefully the worst you break is a bit. Speaking of bits, this is a 1/4 inch downcut Jenny bit. If you're just getting into the hobby, I would suggest getting some cheap bits because you're going to break a bunch at the beginning. Once you get settled in and learn what you're doing with it a little bit more, go and buy the more expensive bits, and the Jenny bit is a fantastic bit to go with. Can't say enough about them. All right, here we go. It's going to get loud. I'm going to mute the sound so you don't have to listen to it, and then we will speed it up accordingly to make it so you can watch the whole thing, because the 3D cuts do take a while. Well, now that the roughing pass is done, and it is rough, that's the hence the name, all it's doing is takes away a lot of the bulk of the wood that's not going to need to be cut later. Makes it easier on the ball nose bit to cut. And the way the ball nose bit works, on here, it has a ball shape to the end of it, and that will travel the path just like it's reading. It'll start at the bottom and work its way up, though, but back and forth, right to left, right to left. And it will follow the path up and down of the 3D design that's going to be there. When we get done, we will have a book that I'll need to sand, and then I will do the V carving, which is the lettering. It's the same process for every one of our books. The only thing you have to do is sand it, and then the V carve is what changes on it. So I got the ball nose bit in. I just got to Z it, and we can get this one started. This one takes a little while, so I'll speed it up once it gets going here, and you can see that process a little faster. It's kind of more interesting that way. Again, I Z off of the surface, and I use the paper method. Now that we have milled away a lot of the flat portions, the center portions, I have to pick a part of the wood that has not been cut yet. Luckily, the center of this has not been cut. Well, the dead center has a little bit of a cut, but I can move just to the side of the center point of the design, and I can Z my height off of that. My next one, the V carve, I will have to go to one of the edges that is untouched, because the ball nose will cut all this flat surface away in the middle. So next view, you'll see me doing the Z on it, setting the Z height, and starting to cut. Drop down to a millimeter at a time, go down a little bit. Get it close, it's within a millimeter, so I'll switch down to 0.1 millimeters. Drop that down till it just barely touches. And you'll see the paper won't move. I'll go one more notch. Now I can pull it out, but I can't push it in. Set my Z height. Now I can put it back to the 10 millimeter high, and I can raise it up out of my way. Start my dust collection and start the bit. Here we go. I don't know if you caught what happened there, but my tabs that I left to hold this in place broke as soon as the bit started moving, so it must have cut down a little bit deeper through there, or I set my tabs too shallow. Anyway, the whole center section moved on me. The way I got around that so far, and I'm hoping it works, is I put carpet tape down, a double-sided carpet tape, and I mounted it right to here. This piece is no longer doing anything, but that will allow me to zero the V carve when I get to that point. Hopefully this doesn't move, and we're good to go from there. So we'll find out. Might be a waste of good cherry. Okay, spindle up. Welcome back. Did the 3D finish pass. I went back and I sanded it with 80 grit to get rid of any of the overlap lines, and then to 120. Gave it a quick stain. I don't worry about the edges because I will be sanding those some more. They still have some of the overlap lines. So those will all be sanded later. If you notice, I had a little bit of a mistake, actually a big mistake, when I first started it. When my tabs weren't deep enough, or weren't thick enough, and what happened is as soon as my bit hit this corner over here, I started making its cut, it pushed the whole book to the side, so broke away all my tabs. The way I remedied this was I went ahead and I covered the back, didn't unscrew this base part that had the cutout, which I knew was a 1/4 inch bit that had gone through all the way around. So put my double-sided tape on the back, pushed it down so that it had a 1/4 inch all the way around, and then I wedged in some pieces of wood that were a 1/4 inch thick just to for a little security there to keep it from sliding and moving and getting pulled off of the tape. Seems to have worked. It's holding it nice and tight. I was able to get through all the cuts there. The next is the V-carve, which is the lettering. And since I have done so much sanding on this, I know that it is no longer at the height that the CNC thinks it is. So when I zero off of one of these flat edges that hasn't been touched, I know that I'm not going to be deep enough, which is a good thing. Because what I can do is I can zero off of this and then start my cut. After the first letter or two, I will know if I'm deep enough. If I'm not deep enough, I can go move off to the side. I can go ahead and lower that bit 1/2 millimeter and re-zero it, start again, and just keep going down a little bit until I get the letters the depth that I want them to be. It's a little bit of a playing game, but it's easy. It's better to take a little less off and then add, go deeper each time than it is to go too deep the first time. So I have the 60-degree V-bit in already. My next thing is to slide it over to the side, and I'll use this side over here because this is totally untouched. This one I sanded just so I could try a couple different stains. But I will move over to here, and I will Z off of this surface here. Again, using the paper method. My paper is a little thicker than most. It's actually the back of my masking material, so it's a little bit thicker. So usually I can go till I just feel it, and I can go one more 0.1 millimeter, and I'm good then. So let me go ahead and get this seed out, and we'll get the V-carve started. Down 10, down 10, down 10. Switch over to 1 millimeter increments. Down. Just starting to feel it, but I can still move the paper in and out. So I'm going to jump down to the 0.1 millimeter. What I want is to be able to pull that, but not be able to push it. There I'm stopped. I will go one more. I'll go up and Z height it. And we'll go back up 10, get it out of the way, and we'll start our cut. If it's not deep enough, like I said, you'll see me stop it. I'll move it off to the side, probably up top here where I've got plenty of room to go off. I'll drop it by a 1/2 millimeter and come back and try again. Hopefully I get it right first time. Okay, we're back here. Looks like it was deep enough the first time around. Pull this away so we can see it a little better, make sure. fuzzies on it. One thing you can do to get rid of the fuzzies is to rerun your cut file. So let's do that real quick. I'll leave the dust collection off. Back over. Much better. A little trick to keep in mind, if you rerun your exact V-carves without changing the depth, a lot of times it will take most of those fuzzies off, give you a little less sanding, and save you some time. I'm going to get this off the bed and go ahead and sand the edges and stain the rest of it. Get it ready for clear coat, and next time you see it, it'll be probably on the clear coat bed. So see you soon. Well, here it is, all finished. If you didn't get to see the beginning of this, the part 1 where I go and explain how I designed the file, go back and check that out if you're interested in the software side of the CNC. But this is what it came out to be. It's got a 3-dimensional cut to it. Pages down both sides, a curled page at the top. And this is going to my great niece and soon to be great nephew at their wedding. Check back and see what we make next time. Thanks. Bye.